Hey, this is Robbie with Grow on the Flow. I just wanted to do a quick video here on my biggest in-ground Kadota fig tree. I zoomed up on something that I wanted to talk about, but before I talk about that, I just wanted to kind of give a little progress report here. Fig rust has definitely set in. It's been really hot and humid. The fig garden is crazy rusty, and the figs out in the yard are just starting to get hit with some rust because it has been really wet and hot and humid the last maybe like 3 or 4 weeks. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about is this tree here, 3 years old, from an unrooted cutting that I kind of stuck in the ground right there. And there we go. You can kind of see. You see how much growth? It's about, I don't know, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet of growth right there. That's about 1 foot of growth right here with some figs. That's kind of what fig trees tend to do. They tend to, especially in the spring, they shoot out with a lot of vigor, and they put out a lot of figs, and they put out a lot of branches, they put out a lot of leaves, they push a lot, almost to the point where they kind of like exhaust themselves. Maybe not exhaust themselves, but they max out. You know, they push as much fruit and as many branches as they can, and they kind of like max out on their growth, and then they just kind of like sit there for a while, or it seems like they just sit there for a while. A lot of people in like fig forums and Facebook and stuff, they post like, what's going on with my fig tree? It hasn't done anything in months or whatever. But really what the fig tree is doing is it is focusing on developing, or where is it? Maybe even like aborting or discarding its fruit. It will only, there, you can kind of see one that's about to drop a little too. There it is. You see that? That one's gonna drop a little early, but hold on, there we go. Anyways, so the figs kind of grow from a small kind of like pea size to a little bit larger to, this is sort of their final pre-ripening size, and they sit there like this for about a month. I think overall, from the time that you see like double bumps until the time that a fig is ripening, it takes anywhere between like 2.5 to 4 months, depending on the variety. I like the ones that take, you know, shorter time, so that way you get multiple crops throughout the year in the state of Florida, because we have such a long, hot growing season. Anyways, the thing that I really wanted to kind of point out, very beginning of the video, and this little bit right here, is that I'm noticing that the tree is starting to grow again. It's starting to push new growth. There's a new leaf right here. It's starting to push some new growth. You see that growth there, this right here, that right here. And that says to me something really important, which is this is about to start ripening its fruit. Because once it's done taking the time to kind of develop all the sugars, develop all the fruit, it'll kind of, you know, it'll look like it's dormant, but really it's kind of just working on the fruit. And then once it sort of decides, okay, I'm done working on the fruit, it's time to ripen them and create a new crop and a new, you know, some new branching and kind of grow and develop, it will start growing new branches. And so this is starting to grow new branches. And when I noticed that, I realized that some of the figs were actually aborting, some were dropping off. But then I noticed that little, there you go, that little clip in the very first part of the video, is that some of these figs are starting to ripen right here. Ooh. Can I get it? There we go. See these? These figs right above the AC, these are starting to ripen, and they're probably starting to ripen because this is the hottest part of the tree. It's the AC, over the AC, and you can see that new growth right there. See, these figs right here are gonna start to ripen. So basically, I guess this video is to just show you what this the tail end of this process looks like. So when you start to see if your fig tree is healthy and it has figs on it and it's just been sitting there for a little while, when you start to see some new growth like this, you got to look out for your figs. You got to check them to see if they're going to start to ripen, because I have a feeling in the next maybe month, 3 to 4 weeks, all of these figs, or most of these figs, are going to start to ripen and develop, and then I will get another basically like 6 to 12 inches of growth on most of these branches, which will push out another crop that will then ripen in late fall, maybe early winter. So I'll probably end up getting 2 big crops, or what'll end up happening this happened last year a little bit, is that I had some growth on maybe a third of the branches, and that ripened in the fall. And then after the full crop ripened, the full summer crop ripened, the rest of the branches kind of took off. So I ended up with a small fall crop and a much larger winter crop that went all the way into January, I believe. So I got figs from June to January last year off of this tree sporadically, you know, in sort of you know, month-long ripening chunks. But I guess that's the that's kind of just some observations I had. That's kind of what I wanted to point out about this tree. It's really healthy. It's going to be 3 years old next month, and it'll probably be ripening, you know, all these figs all over the place. All these figs will probably ripen up within the next month. So I hope you're all having a great day. This is Robbie with Growing the Flow. Thanks so much for hanging out. Definitely comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.